So, Blackhaven have a new manager. They finally appointed someone. This is an interesting pick too.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sunshine on Leyth. If you're enjoying it, drop a like. That'd be lovely. So, today we're going to do a big chunk. We've got Arsenal and Manchester City in the two live comms, which would sound like two massive games, and they kind of are in a way, but the City one's more important. Arsenal at home should be about as winnable as a Premier League game can be these days, which is such a strange thing. I figured they'd come up and then just return to being Arsenal. No, they're 19th in the Premier League at the moment. They are legitimately back in a relegation battle again. They just cannot seem to win matches. It's actually crazy how bad they've been over the last few seasons. They weren't even that good in the Championship last year, despite winning it. Now, it's Sunday, which means Regen Sunday. Amazing. On a Sunday. Who could imagine that? So if you want to participate, of course, head over to the Discord. Link in the description for your Regens. This will continue for our FM21 as well, because it's a bit of fun. I like it. First up on the chopping block is Carl Garcia. I like it. It's not Carlos. Carl, just full-on Carl. He's a Gibraltarian attacking midfielder, plays for Bologna. That's a damn good Gibraltarian. Next up, Vitor, a Brazilian centre midfielder at Barcelona. Nothing surprising there. He's just unbelievably good, though. Like, sometimes I just have to show you these kind of players. Then, Yonis Ali, an attacking midfielder at Manchester United, 18-year-old, but he's Somali, and that's cool. Then we've got Elvis Choque, who, 19 years old, Bolivian, striker, solid as hell. He's very, very good. Then we've got Alfonso Barros. Pretty damn cool, this one. Striker, Angolan, 73 goals in 79 caps. Barely gets a look in at club level, despite being 25 years old. The fact that he's got more goals for his country than he has club appearances in his entire career, and he's 25. Not only that, apparently, he was also the top scorer at a World Cup once, because Angola beat Uzbekistan 8-0, and he scored 7 of the goals. What a weird career. Then Oliver Walton, a Japanese player, playing for Berwick Rangers. You love to see it. Then Abdallah Ali of Zanzibar. I honestly didn't know Zanzibar still existed. So there you go, Zanzibar. And lastly, Jean-Philippe Farazmane Lafortune, just because his name is incredibly long, and sometimes that's just fun, innit? Want to participate in Regen Sunday? Head over to Regen Chat. Lovely old job. Also, after this episode, it's be the knockouts of Streamer Showdown. The final one of FM20. It's sick. Head over, link in the description to the Twitch channel, or any of the other creators involved, and say hi. So, things keep a-changing. Sadly. So once again, they really don't like Clive. He's literally the best player at the club right now, Clive Kimberley, and my assistant's just like, I just don't rate him, bruv. So I'm going to start Wim Billington today in the league, instead of Remy Lafarge for now, because we've got the link with Kayo, and obviously Lonchar still has one more match left on his suspension. Backline though, just the links are building. They just look so unbelievably composed, that back four of Hubert, Connor, Matondo, and McLean, and Ellison in behind them, to be honest. Everyone just looks like they've got their role. And I think once Flammarion comes back as well, things will just take us to another level. But Bouzidi has done a sensational job at filling in. Almost to the point where I'll feel bad about having to take him out the team. But it's not like we're going to rush Flammarion back in, because we need to slowly get him those match fitnesses back. You know the drill. You'd expect us to win this fairly comfortably, but then you just never know with Arsenal. You do normally know. And by the way, Blackhaven still haven't got the new manager yet. But what is worth discussing is they've won another game. They beat Man United 3-1. Man United obviously in horrendous form as of late, but Blackhaven, since they sacked Eddie Howe, have won 2 games and scored 6 goals, conceded 1. Billington, oh my God, inside 20 seconds Wim Billington scored. You love to see it. Whitport 1, Arsenal 0. After just 20 seconds, Wim Billington sliding straight in there. Even he has stepped up his game this season, considering he barely played in the league last season. He's coming through suspension, but it doesn't really matter. The fact is he's getting in there and doing good things. He's scoring headers, for crying out loud. Because so far, this game is going exactly how I would hoped it would. I want to actually smash Arsenal back to the Stone Age a little bit here. Bouzidi goes through a couple of challenges, whips it through, and what a finish! That looked like it might have been an overhead kick from Kayo. He looked like he was facing the wrong way. 15th goal of the season from him. We're 2 goals to the good against Arsenal now already. Bouzidi gets another assist. I think this might be something spectacular from Kayo. This looks like it's behind him. Coming through. Oh, he just gets a brilliant swivel on that one to score his 15th of the year. First half's been kind of subdued. Arsenal have actually had a few little opportunities despite not hitting the target with any of them. Oh, that one counts. First half's kind of just gone a bit away from us since then. Pedro Ramirez is doing all right for them, in fact. Let's have a look at him. To be fair, we were already marking him up. I feel like there's more goals in this game for us, if we want them, but we haven't actually had that many good opportunities yet. But that just shows the difference between us and last season. Last season, it would take us so many opportunities or chances to actually create goals. This year, we're not even requiring that many. In some games, none at all. Balde, can he pull this back? No, that did not look like a foul to me. Arias just looks like he slides in and takes the ball there, but apparently it is a penalty. Bizarre. Is that going to be Kimberley? It's Wim Billington to take it. Go on, Win. Oh, and he slips it home. Whitport 3, Arsenal 0. Wim Billington scores another brace. I think he's already up to 4 or 5 goals in the Premier League, despite barely starting for us this season. 3-0 up now from the penalty spot. Looked a bit harsh, I've got to be honest. And actually scoring decent amounts against some of the better sides, too, as Bruzidi's strike there. McLean will skip through. Oh, my goodness. And McLean gets another assist. Billington's completed his hat-trick after just 60 minutes. Wim Billington is starting to turn back the clock to the days when he was in the Championship and banging them in for us. I mean, to be fair, Lonchard's also been banging them in when he's in the squad too, but it's nice to see Billington doing so well. McLean, just first time ball across. First time I think Billington's ever scored a hat-trick in the Premier. No, he did get 4 against Bristol City in his first season, I think. I'd say the only real conclusion we can draw here is that Arsenal are not very good. They are in a deep relegation battle at the moment. Or Ramirez on the edge of the box. They might get a long shot away here. They probably will. I feel like, oh, that's just a great strike from Pedro Ramirez. Whitport 4, Arsenal 1. We've always just got that one little conceded goal in us, and I don't think there's much that Ellison could have done about that one, really. But again, it's still a very good result. We've scored 4 goals in a match yet again. I mean, we're going to be at 50 goals very, very soon. Before I think we even reach the halfway stage of the season. It's an excellent strike, though, from Ramirez. I honestly think that the relegation battle this year will be Arsenal and Brighton. And I don't know if Blackhaven will go down now. I think they're in great form. They'll get a new manager soon. Think what they could do with an actual manager. You never know. Right, Mozidi's 100th appearance as well. He was actually still pretty damn solid today. So there we go. Yeah, Arsenal have now conceded 28 times this season, which is indeed the worst defence, tied with Southampton. And we've got 49 goals already scored after 14 matches. We're averaging over 3 a game currently. So are Manchester City, though. So it's an incredibly tight battle at the top. We'll see where this one goes. Loads of games off camera now. I'll see you guys in a minute for the Manchester City match. A win there, and I think the title race is firmly in our hands. So, let's go. Right then, friends, we're back. We have a lot of games to talk about. There's been 8 off-camera matches, some other interesting stuff elsewhere, transfers out, a potential massive transfer in, as well as, well, a new manager. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, first up, we were at home against West Ham. Weren't that good on the night, to be honest, but Kane McLean knocks it back for Nielsen. Ball in, Kayo gets us the goal, 1-0, that's all we needed. Sadly, though, we had a kind of underwhelming performance at home against Leeds. Equal sort of chances for either side. I think a draw is probably a fair result. O'Regan's long-range strike into the bottom corner gave Leeds the lead at the Lighthouse. Thankfully, we were able to find ourselves an equaliser in this one in the 70th minute of the match. Just as well, really, because we didn't want that first defeat. Lovely little ball around the side for Bruzidi. Win Billington off the bench to get the equaliser. Win is now 1 goal away from equaling the most ever goals for Whitport. Now, Curtis Thomas still has the league record of 107, and Win's going to take a while to get there. But overall, in all competitions, Win has 116 goals, and Curtis Thomas has 117. So I feel like by the end of this year, Win Billington will be the top scorer in all-time history at Whitport, and I couldn't think of a nicer bloke for it to happen to. Next up, we played Maccabi Haifa. I put a completely rotated team that included a 17-year-old Irishman that had never been even in our squad before. And still, I think we've just got a really good tactic that's working throughout the whole team now. So we started off, Nielsen whips the ball in. It's slid home by Jack Charlie for his first ever goal for the club, which is nice. I then gave a penalty to Jerry Ellison just for reasons, and he did score it, to be fair to him, 2-0. Then, in the 17th minute, we made it 3-0, which just gets better and better. Fram with the goal. And then even better news here, as Danny Connolly, on his debut for Whitport, was able to score a goal here. Luke Watson puts it into his path. Connolly smashes it home for his first ever goal on his first senior start. Things did not get much better for them as the game wore on, though. Nielsen this time with the ball over the top. Billington was able to get himself in behind and slot home for 5-0. We were trashing them, to be fair. Then, just after half-time, things got even worse for them. Keith Abbott rocking the ball around the side for Simon Nelson, who drills it home. Poor goalkeeping again. Good assist from Abbott. And then things managed to get even worse for them as well, as Nelson whips the ball across, comes eventually back to Lafarge, who drills one in off the crossbar for his first goal for the club as well. And then lastly, 75 minutes in, we made it 8. Our second 8-0 win in the same group is nuts, to be fair. Nelson's ball in, and there was Danny Connolly for his second goal of the night. He won man of the match as a 17-year-old in Europe, so fair play to DC. Well done for him. But it really does beg the question, and I don't really know what really can be done about this, about how when you don't have all the leagues turned on, admittedly, it's not really the same with Maccabi Haifa, because obviously you wouldn't have Israel turned on, and they are a relatively weak side. But it's more obvious when it's someone like Alkmaar, because if you don't have the league turned on, they will just be weaker, and I don't really know what the solution is to that, really, other than having to turn them on. But of course, it's a bit of a balancing act, sadly. Unfortunately, and we all knew this was coming, we got a bit of a taste of old Whitport away at Crystal Palace, who were in the relegation zone at the time, our first defeat of the season. And we had 5 clear-cut chances in this match. We just didn't take them. This is very much like we played last season, where we'd have loads of games like this, where we just couldn't. And to be fair, we were due one eventually, but it was just not nice to see us sort of returning to that old kind of style. And we've been struggling to score more than 1 goal in games in the league. As we then followed it up with a goalless draw against Everton, in which once again we created a ton of opportunities, particularly our backline. They really are great creative players too. And yeah, just couldn't get anything going forward. I mean, that Palace result was our first defeat in 24 games, the first defeat since April. We did take the lead against Chelsea. Bouzidi getting in there, back post, Balde gave us the lead at least. But again, it's one of these games, it's a pretty fair result. And I guess we could probably take it, really. It's not the end of the world, us drawing at home to Chelsea. But given some of the results we've had against some of the bigger sides, McLean makes an error, and that's what costs us there, 1-1. We then had Southend United in the FA Cup. We were able to get the win with the rotated side. But the good thing about this game for me was the fact that Flamarion returned to the team, and within 15 minutes, he'd scored again. Incredible. The guy is a hell of a goal-scoring threat. Bouzidi is a great assisting player, but I feel like Flamarion carries more of a goal threat. Billington was then able to make it 2-0 with a little sprint past the defender to make it 2, and we're through to play Ipswich. But it did seem like that result and the poor form kind of just went out the window. Kimberley puts a lovely ball over the top. Lonchar's in. Simple finish from him. He suddenly looks red hot again, which is really, really nice to see, albeit only on the one-game basis. But once again, Kimberley looks up over the top. Lonchar this time decides to do it himself, takes it around the defender. Nice little situation, just pops it past the goalkeeper for 2-0. But Wolves were able to get a goal back in the 60th minute to make things a little bit more unfortunate. Bad defending from us here to allow this ball to come all the way through for where Elliott was able to tap it into the far post. But then almost immediately we put ourselves back in front as Kaio did some mad stuff here. Slips the ball into the channel for Balde. Ball eventually comes back to him and he just drilled it home for 3-1. 17th of the season for him. And we still had time for one more piece of magic. I say magic. Lonchar actually mucks up the original chance, but Wolves are so bad at clearing this, eventually the goalkeeper doesn't get back in goal, and Lonchar's able to slot that into an open net for 4-1. So Premier League-wise, we're actually third now, in spite of that, because we didn't win for 4 matches, and that did not help us at all. That little blip that I knew would come at some point has really cost us, and we're now 2 points off the top from Spurs, and City have a game in hand that could see them potentially move, what would that be, 4 points clear of us. So a win today against City, if we could somehow get it, would be very, very important. So, Blackhaven have a new manager. They finally appointed someone. This is an interesting pick too. So they've gone for Sean Green, a 37-year-old, is now the manager of Blackhaven. Remember, their last 2 managers have not been sacked. The only manager they've sacked in this save was, ironically, Thomas Stepanek, which is sad in a way, but also screw him. So yeah, interesting career that Sean Green's had. So he was originally an under-23 assistant manager at Sunderland. He got the caretaker job for some reason, was also interim manager briefly, and then got the managerial job. But the thing about him is, he got them promoted at the first time of asking from League 2, won the league. The second time, literally his second season in charge, he won the playoffs with Sunderland to get them back into the Championship. So back-to-back promotions this guy got. Goes to Nottingham Forest. I think it might have been his second season in charge of Forest. It might have actually been his first season. Wins the playoffs and gets Forest into the Premier League as well. So 3 promotions in 3 years for him. And then he had Nottingham Forest sitting sort of mid-table in the Premier League and actually looking like they might stay up, which, as you know, for an AI club at this stage of the series, is very, very unlikely. So he looks like a genuinely good prospect for Blackhaven. Now, I don't know how well he'll do long-term, but I think he's got a much better chance of success there than Eddie Howe. Perhaps if they can just stay up this season, he might actually be able to do something for them next year. It's certainly an interesting choice, though. And I mentioned some transfers as well. The main one is that Madeleine Matala has moved to Shandong Lungneng. We know that he wanted to leave in the summer. The board blocked the transfer before, and this time they were able to let me do it because he was complaining and he hasn't really been playing for us this year. Anyway, £18.5 million. We've made some money on the deal, and I feel like we've got better players coming through that can do the job for us. I did like him a lot, but it's not come to pass there. But hey, £18 million, it's a decent profit. Right, little change of route here, switch things up. Flamarion will finally be able to come back in. He played against Southend. I brought him out for the next game, but now we have an injury to Bouzidi. He's finally managed to fight on through and just about get back. So, with Kaio being out though, Lafarge might have to start on the left-hand side here, or we could do Win Billington there. Win Billington's unhappy, because I thought we could get away with not offering him a new contract. May have to sort that. You know what, I'm actually tempted to go with Win Billington and Lonchar as a dual strike force today. Kimberley's a bit knackered. So actually maybe Nielsen and Fran for today as well. It's not ideal, but thankfully Flamarion's back. That's the only real bright spot we've got here. But after all, the main aim this season was try to qualify for the Champions League and do as well as we can in the Europa. I think we've got a good shot at winning the Europa, and I think Champions League is virtually in the bag. But we'll see. Maybe that 4-1 victory against Wolves, where we actually started to look really good creatively and actually were scoring the chances, will be a catalyst for us. But I am concerned that the lack of Kaio in that pressing forward role, I feel like Win Billington's not going to be able to do the job as good as Kaio would, obviously. But you never know. Maybe just pure striking quality will help us today. Balde with the ball in. And Matondo. Wow, that was a good chance. Thing is, right, it wasn't even a yellow injury, and he was... Oh, wait, that's a completely different injury. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it didn't even go yellow, and he was improving, so we just thought, okay, we'll see how he goes and monitor it, and that is not ideal. Veldvike is going to have to come in. Unfortunately, his career he's been basically John O'Corroad to the nth degree so far. 2 major injuries in less than a year that have had him out for 8 months and 3 months respectively. He's missed nearly a year of football, almost without playing anything in between. So, doesn't bode well for his career. And so much so that he slipped to like 2 stars. Lonchar's in though! Milan Lonchar! Oh, that was a chance. I can see this being another one of those seasons where a team goes down with like 37 points. But we will see, because there's any number, basically anyone in the bottom half of the league, almost from like 8th downwards, is still nowhere near out of the battle for relegation. And I would not be surprised if they actually return to the Championship again. And I think they might struggle to come straight back up this time, because they would surely lose more players this time around. Mesa, oh, it's a good strike from Luis Fernando Mesa. City have the lead at the start of the second half, and we didn't take our chance, and it could cost us dearly at this point. I suppose it's disappointing when you saw how good we were for that one spell of the season where we really were keeping complete lockstep with Manchester City, but we've just dropped points against poor teams. You know, Leeds, that's not a good point, although Leeds are decent this season. Palace was very bad. Bristol City and others. The other reason I'm mainly looking at this other striker as well is because he would be an excellent, not even backup to Caio, he'd be like competition for Caio potentially, which would mean that we wouldn't be completely out at sea when we don't have Caio, because I feel like we're quite strong with Billington and Lonchar in one position, but yeah. But injuries and whatnot on the other side of our defence. Oh, Matondo Flammarion! Oh, so close. That was a really good chance. Well, I think more likely City to get the second goal, to be honest. So he's gone past one here. Bit of space opening up. Don't foul him. Sensible here. Oh, too easy. Alessio Avramides gives City the second goal of the match. And I think we can say they probably do deserve that. But that would now put us 4 points behind them, with them having a game in hand as well. And I think really we're in a battle for second place potentially with Spurs. But honestly, I think the main thing is just hold off Liverpool, try and get third this season, and keep that gap between us and the top two as close as possible. Maybe have a late run if we get a good run of fixtures. You never know. Hey, we're throwing away too quickly. We can pull this back perhaps. There's always the chance that we could pull off something towards the end of the season. But remember, once we get back into Europe and stuff, there's going to be even more fixture congestion. So I feel like our chance at the title is pretty much slipping away. But at the end of the day, Champions League would be very, very successful for us this year. Keep scoring goals, try to keep things tighter at the back, which I think we are sort of doing. But there you go. It's only our second Premier League defeat of the entire season, and we're still unbeaten at home, so not the end of the world. We'll skip the Ipswich Town game and come back for Leicester City for the next episode. And then, to be honest, we could probably do like a big chunk again and get forward to like the Europa League stuff, because that's where the real meat and potatoes of this season is probably going to rely on now. But hey, you never know. So, if you've enjoyed this, drop a like, that'd be sick. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be awesome as well. And I will join you guys in the next episode for some more Football Manager, because that's what we're doing here. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun, Capybara. Bye-bye.